welcome again. Today is Android Day. So yesterday I did a short video showing you how you can use ChromaMagic and your iPhone and calibrating your iPhone so you can match colors directly to the screen. So a couple of people messaged me and said Android's a bit different, which of course it is. So I'm just going to do another quick demo, not as much testing, just showing you how to do it in Android as well. It's still pretty straightforward, but it's always good for someone to show you these things as they actually happen. Okay, so let's move over to the canvas. And I don't have an Android phone, so this is an Android tablet. It's not a particularly fancy one. And I've got ChromaMagic loaded up. And this is one of my reference photos. It's just happens to be there. So the problem we have, and I just want to say a few words as to why we need to do this. And actually, before I do that, you don't have to do this. This is only if you want. If you're mixing colors on the palette here and you want to match them exactly to the screen. If you just want to look at a reference photo and look at the different colors within the reference photo, you don't need to do this. You can click on a color, and it will tell you in these beautiful little color cards exactly what the hue, the value, and the chroma is. This is only if you're mixing to the screen. Right, so the problem is, let's just bring up a light color. It doesn't have to be exactly white for this to show you the problem. So I've selected this very light pink up here. And if I click on the swatch on the left hand side, it will bring you up a little window with a bigger window of color in it. And the problem is we cannot match any color we mix on our palette to the screen, because the lightest color we have in paint, if watercolor, the lightest color we have is paper. You can see immediately it's darker than the screen. And if we're working in oils or acrylics or something, the lightest colour we have is titanium white, which also is darker than the screen. So the value range we have on our screen is much wider than the value range we have in paint. And that's the big problem. So what we need to do is reduce the value range of our screen so it matches exactly the value range we have in paint. And the way we do that is matching the screen to our lightest value, which is white. So we need to bring up some white. Now in later versions there'll be a slightly easier way of doing this, I think, but I'll show you how I do this. All right, now we want some white. It's also, we're going to bring up a wheel which has some colors on, which is quite useful. I'll just do a test or two at the end. If you press the question mark, which is the help, and it brings you up at the top, is this wheel. Now on iPhones you can just drag this picture over onto the screen, which is really handy. On Androids you cannot do this, so we're going to have to do it slightly differently. And I'm going to take a screenshot. Now on my Android, this is the power button and the volume. Press those together, flashes, taken a screenshot. And now I can load that in Media Picker. Screenshot, and there we are. I'm just going to zoom in so the wheel's a little bigger here. Right, so now we can select a piece of white and click it in the left, and it brings up pure white on our screen. Now what I usually do, you can use a piece of white paper for this, which if I'm doing watercolor I often do, because that is definitely the lightest I can get in watercolor. But I can also use the value scale, and this is the lightest color we want. If I put it next to it, you can see, yeah, this is the lightest value we can get in paint. It's obviously a lot darker, so we need to reduce down our brightness to match, so these two values are the same. Now on my tablet I get to the brightness settings by swiping down twice from the top right. I don't know if that's the same on all Android tablets. I'm not an Android tablet aficionado, but I'm assuming most devices have a way of doing this. And I'm going to bring down the value. Now you'll have to bring it down quite a long way. I'm not going to, let's try it around there. I mean, that's almost, you know, what's that, 10% of the brightness. It's quite low. And I'm going to bring my value scale across. And how's that look? That's not bad actually, is it? I think maybe, I don't know, yeah, it's I'm not sure about it. Let's just bring it up slightly. I'm going to bring it up slightly, but it might be fine. Just a little bit. Let's try that. Of course, it's bound to be perfect. I don't know. How about that? I think that's about right. It takes, pardon me, maybe 2 or 3 goes to get it right. That looks pretty. I think that looks okay to me. Okay. And that's all you need to do. Bring up the white swatch. Have a piece of paper or your value scale again so you can match the value of the value scale to the white of the paper. And then we know that our value range on our screen will match that with our paint. Okay, right. Now, if you don't have the swipey thing on the screen, you can go into the system settings, and I can get to that. It's slightly more complicated, but you know, I swipe up from the bottom, I have the settings on my taskbar, and then I can change the brightness. I won't change it because it's all nice and calibrated from there. And then go back to ChromaMagic, and then you can test again. But I'm assuming most devices have a quick way of doing this, and unfortunately, I do not have extensive knowledge on every Android device. Okay, right, so that's all you need to do. Take a screenshot of the wheel, bring it up, select some white, change the brightness so that swatch, oh, my chips are going everywhere, matches the white of the paper. Or the white of the value scale, I should say. Okay, right, so I'm just going to do one quick test just to show you that this works. I'm going to do my favorite because I like this one. I'm going to select on an orangey red over up here. Now I have a set of Munsell chips that are accurately labeled and accurate color. I'm going to select this one. It's a mid value, so it's halfway down the value scale, and it's quite saturated color, and it's an orangey red. So if I select this one, it's here, and I can select this again, it'll bring up a swatch. And then if I put it on the swatch, I'm going to check with my eyes, that looks absolutely bang on for me. And I'm just looking back at the screen, yeah, that looks great. So that looks good to me. That looks good to me. So our mid values are looking good. Our light values are definitely looking good. The dark values, let's just try a dark one. I think I have one on the same card here. This is a value 2. It's as dark as I can get. So this is a very sort of deep maroon, very low on the value scale. It's a value 2. I'll put that next to it. Now that, to my eyes, looks fabulous on the screen. Yeah, it looks great. There we go. So now change the brightness, and then your values will always be right when you bring up colors. Now, if you want some more examples of matching chips, in the iPhone video, I go through a lot more chips, probably too many, and show you all the a lot of different colors all around the wheel and how they match to the screen. Okay. So that's it. Fairly simple. I hope that was straightforward. I hope it is straightforward. It should be straightforward. And any questions, of course, any comments, always happy to answer. And thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow.